Hello, my flavor loving lovelies. Good morning and welcome to the Queen's Curry Kitchen. I hope you guys are doing well. I certainly am doing really well. I feel like $1,000,000. Life is good right now. It's way too early in the morning to mess with anything, even though I've been power cleaning my house because I'm expecting a guest or two. So I thought today I would bring you in and show you how I make my chai, since I get so many requests and comparisons about the chai that I make at home versus the chai that people drink in Starbucks. So this is water. For 1 cup of chai, I would put on 1 cup of water. This is for the novice who has never made chai, okay? This is how we do it Indian style. There are several ways of making chai and I will get to that. In my morning chai, I only add cardamom. Sometimes I add ginger, but today I don't feel like doing that. I'm going to add some cardamom that I've ground in my coffee maker. I use the pods and the seeds and everything, okay? So I really don't care. I use everything. When your water is boiling. Now, if you want to make 2 cups of chai, put 2 cups of water, maybe a little shy of 2 cups, and then the tea leaves that I'm using is Assam Black. This is the same tea leaves that I use if you order the chai masala, which is on my website. It's the same Assam Black tea leaves, okay? The website has the chai masala, which includes not only cardamom, but it includes cinnamon. It includes, hello, Faye and Supriya. So the chai masala on my website that you can buy includes cardamom, cinnamon, fennel, dry ginger powder, black pepper, cloves, and nutmeg. Okay, cinnamon. My chai that I drink in the morning, I only put cardamom powder. Sometimes I put ginger. Now, I used to put cinnamon too, but then one of my friends who is an Ayurvedic practitioner said that if this is the first cup of chai that you're drinking on an empty stomach, then don't drink cinnamon because it's going to make your blood sugar drop. So that's when I stopped putting cinnamon in my morning chai. If I make a masala chai in the middle of the day or towards the end of the evening, then I will put cinnamon only because it's very calming and I'm on the move and I'm able to deal with it better. And I definitely don't want to be stuck with a sinking feeling if I'm drinking cinnamon chai as the first thing in the morning, okay? So I am going to add some milk. I use regular milk. Now, there are different ways in which your chai can taste different. The water that you use can give your chai a different taste. The kind of milk that you use can give your chai a different taste. So these are all the reasons why when you drink chai in Starbucks or when you drink chai from one person's home to the other, it tastes different, right? So every little element that goes into making chai determines the taste of the chai. Some people like to make their chai with filtered water. Some people like to make it with tap water. I just use good old tap water. I just feel like the trick is to really boil it out nicely before you do anything. And make sure the tea has released its color into the water. You see this? Okay. Now, a lot of times when you ask for tea in places like Starbucks, or not to hate on anybody, but just a comparison, or even if you go to your corner deli and you ask for tea, they'll give you hot water with a tea bag, and then they tell you to add your own milk, which means that they have a bottle of milk sitting on a bed of ice cubes, and they expect you to put that milk. Now, if the British have taught us one thing, it's been that never add cold milk to your chai. And that literally kills the chai, which is why whenever an Indian person gets on the road, they want to take their own chai masala or whatever so that they can just add hot water and have a good cup of chai, okay? So don't add cold milk to your chai. Always warm your milk, heat your milk before you add it to chai. Alrighty, hello Janaki, good morning, Supriya, good morning. Yes, you love cinnamon in your chai, Supriya, but just make sure it's not your first chai of the day with cinnamon, okay? It's going to make your blood sugar drop, so don't do that, okay? Let me say a quick hello to Janet, who is also watching. Hello. And Medina Mukhara is watching, so hello. Alright, so you see how the tea is now to a rolling boil and it's bubbling, and you can see that the liquor has developed and it's really sent some of its color into the liquid, right? Your water does not look like the water it looked like before. So let's say for fun and giggles, you're making 1 cup of tea, okay? So imagine that this much has to be the water and this much has to be milk. Of course, it's always open to personal preference. I have friends who like their tea more milky, so they'll put that much milk and only that much water. I personally find that kind of tea to be very heavy to digest, and I'm also lactose intolerant, so I don't really like to add too much milk in my chai. Now the trick again is to keep on boiling. This is not chai. You see this combination of milk, and the cafes want you to do that. They'll give you like boiled liquor, or they'll give you a tea bag in a hot water, and they expect you to call it chai by adding milk. According to them, this is where the process stops, right? So if I drank this, according to the cafes and Starbucks or Costa Cafe or wherever you're going, according to them, this is chai. Well, this is not chai. Now the actual process begins when the milk and the water will be boiled down to the point where they're so homogeneous that it's not going to be this watery thing. You'll see this is almost got that transparent watery drop. It's going to be a thicker drop, and that's how you build and develop the flavor in your chai, okay? If you like to add cardamom, you can also add it much later after the water has boiled, and that kind of retains the flavor for longer. You can add fennel seeds, you can add grated ginger, whatever your heart desires. Feroz says, hey Nupur, all show when I'm at work. Oh, well, you tell me a good time when I should come on so you don't miss anything, okay, Feroz? I promise I'll do a live just for you. Now, if you're wondering what's going on over here and why am I playing with this thing, this milk in the saucepan, I'm going to tell you a story about what happened yesterday. So yesterday I had taken some food for somebody, and in free food, right? Yesterday was my meal delivery day, and as a favor, what she did was she gave me a whole bag of croissants, like these 3 and then these 2 that are right here, and then a couple more that are missing, okay? So she gave me a whole bag of croissants. Now I am gluten-free, so I don't know any time when I will be eating those croissants. I also don't do sugar. I don't do very many baked goods. It's like a once in a while thing, right? Yes, ginger tea is the best. I love ginger in my tea. You know what? Let me put some ginger in my tea. Hold on. Now that you've mentioned it, now I feel like it. Okay, hold on. All right, where is my ginger? Let me show you something very interesting, okay? Now, when I cook with ginger, I don't necessarily worry about whether it's organic or not organic. Okay, let's jump right to it. Wow. Please don't spill. I just cleaned the whole kitchen. Please do not spill. Like, do you talk to your food? I talk to my food all the time. Okay. Guess what I'm about to tell you. If you are buying organic ginger, you do not need to peel this. Okay, all the goodness of the flavor is right under the skin. So if this is organic ginger, which this is, you do not need to peel this. Just wash it, scrub it nicely, and then use it directly in your food, in your dishes, whatever you're making. If it's not organic ginger and you want to put it in your chai, then you must wash it and peel the skin. Okay, so in case you didn't know, now you know. See how organized I'm becoming. All right, so she sent me home with this whole bag of, coming back to my croissant story. She sent me home with this whole bag of croissants, which I don't know when I'm ever going to use. So what I decided was that I would make some bread pudding. And I do have a way of making it completely eggless. So there you go, lots of ginger. I'm not kidding, but like so many people on my floor, like my neighbors who are not Indian, they have literally knocked my door and asked me, like, what are you making? Because something smells really good. And I tell them I'm just making chai. So they have taken my chai recipe. They've stood here while I've made chai. They've tasted it and then gone home because they really love the chai that we make. So you know what? Food is a beautiful thing. It connects people. All right. So let me get back to how I'm making this bread pudding. Right? In here I have milk. If you are trying to make it very creamy and rich. You know what, let me switch this too, so I will have a little bit better control and you can see better. I will bring you in to show you how the texture of the chai changes as it boils out. At this time, you just leave it on medium and you just let it boil out. So I've used a combination of milk and heavy cream, primarily because I don't have that much milk at home. So I used a combination, and you can see it immediately gets to work. You see this cream that's building, right? So if you want it creamy, you should let the skin develop. Like, it's called malai, and so apparently it's a very sought after thing in most Indian desserts. So if you're making rabdi or kheer, people just like everything with malai. I personally just hate the texture of malai in my liquids. I love it on toast, like clotted cream on toast. But okay, so this is boiling, and basically what I am going to do is I have to find a way to thicken this without putting eggs. Usually in a milk pudding, in a bread pudding, you would have eggs that have been tempered and then the whole dish is baked. We are not going to do anything like that, and we will keep it totally eggless. This is my bowl in which I'm going to serve the dessert. So what I will do is I have taken the croissants and cut them, like literally cut them into so many sections. Yes, Janki, oh my God, if you ever have any leftover bread, any like good pound cake that is left over, or croissants, these are almond croissants. But if you have the sweet croissants, chocolate chip croissants, honey, that's why you gotta come to this page, because you're always learning something, right? Okay, so I am going to make a slurry with just cold water. Now, I'm making this mango flavored, okay? That's because I'm obsessed with everything mangoes, and in the winter you don't get mangoes. So what I am going to do is I'm going to use this thing called custard powder. If you don't have custard powder, hey Tim, how are you doing today? How you feeling? If you don't have custard powder, I'm going to tell you the simplest trick. It's like a penny. It's going to cost you pennies to make it at home, right? If you don't have custard powder, which is flavored, just use good old cornstarch. You know, yes, the same cornstarch that we use to thicken our soups and whatnot, okay? Let me just flip the camera so y'all can see what's going on. And ideally, you should do it with cold milk, but like I said, I ran out of milk. I don't have any more. So I'm just going to take some flavored mango custard powder. You can do this with any flavor that your family loves. And of course, I have to make a mess just shortly after I clean the whole kitchen. Dang it. Ugh. I'm so mad at myself. I have to get a spoon. Yeah, I think I have to organize myself a little better before I go live. What do you guys think? But then that's what makes me me, right? I think I have some form of ADHD, which went totally undiagnosed when I was a kid. And so I have a lot of issues around that, which I see in my adult life. Thanks to TikTok, I see a lot of videos about how dysfunctional I am. Has anybody ever, like, you know, sat in this revelation and realized like how messed up you are, but nobody told you that in your childhood? Right? Like, I think I have ADHD. I think I have a learning disability towards math, but all of those things were never diagnosed back in the day, and nobody talked about it. Right? Okay, so clearly this thing has color in it. Now, if you're going to do this with cornstarch, basically just add cornstarch into the water, cold water, and then add whatever essence that you have at home. Like if you have vanilla, if you have strawberry, whatever essence you have. If you have rasmalai essence, kulfi essence, whatever it is. Okay, so this is not sweet. Custard powder is never sweet. It's just basically just cornstarch and some essence and some color. That's all there is to it, right? So now we're going to add in the sugar. I'm just going to freaking eyeball this thing because I can. If your croissants are super sweet, you can add a little less sugar. Mine are just regular croissants with a little bit of almond or whatever. Okay, so I'm going to give this a stir. Janki says, thank you for the tips. I'm going to try. Yes, you have to try this. I'm well, Tim. I'm doing good. I'm just looking like a mess right now, so that's why I'm not on camera. But I was making this and I figured, hey, let me bring you guys in. Now I'm going to tell you the Indian twist to making everything Indian. We also add cardamom to our vanilla custard. Like in case you have not traveled in North India into a Punjabi home, you will see that they add cardamom powder to every dang dessert. Like everything even if it's a vanilla custard, it'll have, like my husband will drink a smoothie, like American style smoothie, and he puts rose sherbet in that. Like, don't ask me how lame it is, but it just works for him. Okay, so now this is already infused with cardamom. The milk is nicely boiled. At this time we are going to turn up the heat to medium, and now this is the part where you have to constantly stir. Okay, so before putting your slurry in, just give it a gentle stir because it tends to settle at the bottom. Again, if you're doing this with cornstarch, you're going to follow the same steps. Just make sure that it's cold water. Now as it boils, you're going to add the slurry, and you'll see this thing thickening right in front of your eyes. Once you make it the egg, oh my god, this mango smells so good. Once you make it the eggless way, you will never want to go back to making it the painstaking way where you have to temper the eggs and put it in a water bath and all that bullshit. Ain't nobody got time for that. I'm sorry. Like, people are busy here. You know, I have guests coming tonight. I have not had the time to cook any dinner. I think I'm probably going to just bring food from my restaurant. But dessert should be homemade, at least something, right? So she shouldn't feel like nobody paid any attention to me coming here. Okay, so a little more, and you can make it as thick or as thin as you want. It shouldn't be so thick that it doesn't get soaked up by the croissants. And what I love about croissants is, you see these little holes? This is the thing that's going to soak up this entire, oh my god, look how creamy this is. Check this out, bro. Like, come on. Tell me you don't want to slurp this right now. Yeah, I know it's hot, but look at it. Like, just look at the texture of it, right? We don't have to boil it immediately. You're going to turn off your flame once you see that it's reached that desired thickness. Oh, snap. This is so... You know what this is reminding me of? I don't know how many people grew up in India, but have you... you know, in India, you get these bottles of milk in which they put the nuts and they put, like, the saffron and everything. Oh, this reminds me of that. Maybe one of these days I'm going to do that list. Yes, so Janki says, I can use cornstarch and vanilla essence. Yes, absolutely. You can use vanilla essence, you can use rasmalai essence, you can use mango essence, whatever essence you have, just use that. But add the essence after removing this from the flame. Don't cook your essence, okay? That's the only thing you have to remember, because synthetic essence doesn't really do well when you cook it on a high flame. It tends to evaporate. So you want to maintain the potency of it, then add it afterwards. Okay, yes, you can use cornstarch and you can use... Hey, Sunila! Oh my god, where have you been? I miss you. So this is how you test whether your custard is thick enough or not. It should coat the back of your spoon. You see that? When you draw the line, it shouldn't come back. Now this needs a little more sugar. So let's get that going. I've given up sugar, so I've kind of forgotten how much we realistically need. Okay, that's done. Now I will be using some nuts and whatnot. Let me just make some room here. Okay, now this is the bowl in which we are going to assemble the bread pudding. This is it. You don't have to cook anymore. With this, you're done. The cooking part of this dessert is over. Okay, so like around the holidays, you get all these cookie boxes and you get cake boxes and gift boxes with, this is what you do. Or you go to Costco and you buy a big box of croissants and then you make this for your next party. Or make it for Valentine's Day and then sprinkle some strawberries and whatnot, okay? So at the very bottom of the pan or the dish in which you're going to, ideally I like to serve it in a rectangular dish. It looks really pretty. Okay, so we'll keep the top for the top and we'll put the bottom. But when you put the bottom, you're going to put it face down. So all of these holes and nooks and crannies are going to soak up this liquid. Okay, and then the good thing about cutting is that, and you can see that there is an almond, there's almost like a marzipan filling in the middle of the croissant. You see this? Like, this is the almond paste that they put inside the croissants. So you can actually cut it and... or rip it, whatever, and make it fit your bowl so that every inch of the bowl is covered with the bread base. Okay, so we are making this base. Now, if you're trying to do this in a saucepan like me and it's not a non-stick saucepan, I'm going to give you, ta-da. Before you boil any milk in a pan that's not a non-stick surface, add a little bit of water to the pot. and then add the milk. That's going to prevent it from sticking to the bottom, okay? Going ahead and layering this. So just make sure there are no empty spaces around the periphery. So whatever gaps that you see, just fill those gaps. You see how I'm filling in those gaps? God, I thought everybody knew how to make this. I'm surprised that y'all have so many questions because you've not ever made this before. Well, that's what we're here for. By the way, there is a Thai food class coming up this Sunday. It's a paid class. Please send me a DM PM so that I can sign you in for that class. It's going to be on Zoom at noon Eastern Standard Time. We are going to be making rice paper wraps. We are going to be making tom yum tofu curry, and we will make a basil fried rice, okay? All right, so that's one layer that went in, and you see how quickly it gets soaked up? Now you can also do this as a shot recipe. So you can literally put a little bit of a cake at the bottom in a shot glass, pour your custard, and then pour some crunchy toppings like nuts or whatever, okay? Now I'm going to go back and put this. Now I'm going to put this face down because all the liquid is down. So the holes and the nooks and crannies have to be touching that liquid. Going to go this way. Going to go this way. Now you see there are all these gaps. I don't want to make this pudding too dense because I don't know if everybody's going to eat it or not, but I think I am going to have to borrow one more croissant and rip it apart so that I can fill in the gaps. Now this one is chocolate. Well, doesn't matter. It's all going to get eaten. Like my family has such a huge sweet tooth. I mean, my dad and his side of the family. Luckily, I did not inherit it. My mom and I, we don't have a sweet tooth, but my dad, all his brothers and sisters, you wake them up in the middle of the night and give them something sweet, they will marry you, like literally. Okay, so there you go. So this whole dish is full of croissants. You just press them in a little bit. Now imagine if you were to make it the conventional way. It really is good. Tim says I really shouldn't be watching this. I started my liquid diet. Well, Tim, if you started your liquid diet, make this, but make it with cashew milk or rice milk and eat it. Like it tastes really good cold. And sometimes when you're craving ice cream, you can actually sweeten this with Splenda or monk fruit sweetener or whatever you have. Make this custard. Also for people that suffer from like ulcers and a lot of esophageal trauma, cold custard is supposed to be a really good home remedy for it. So you know what, like don't deprive yourself. I've done it with cow's milk, but Tim, I know you're vegan, so do the same thing with cashew milk. I'm not a fan of almond milk because it does have a, how should I say, it has an aftertaste which I'm not a fan of. And I kid you not, like when this thing sets, it's really going to be as settable as something that you need to cut into. So it will really, really mimic the look of an actual pudding that's been made with eggs. I just love cornstarch. Like it has this ability to do that for us, and I just totally love that. Okay, now we are going to bring in some nuts, which I know I should have chopped beforehand, but I'm really bad like that and I didn't do it, and now I can't find my almonds. This only happens in my world. Yeah. Alrighty then. Okay, so it's kind of a very interesting combination because it has the mango and it has the cardamom. Oh, you know what? Let me quickly show you the chai and what it looks like now after having simmered for this long. Let me bring you a spoon so you can actually see how the texture is so different from when we started out. Now the real chai doesn't end. Oh, he can't have it, only clear liquid. Oh, bummer. Okay, you know what? When you get better. Now come in here and take a look at how different the texture of the chai is. The color, of course, is one thing. It'll have a caramel color. And you see how it's a lot thicker than the watery, milky thing that we started out with. So I don't put too much milk, but the more milk you put, the thicker your chai is prone to becoming. And that's when the real flavor is released, because these tea leaves, after combining with milk, get to a point where they release all of their nicotine. I mean, I'm not saying that it's the healthiest way of eating it, but it exists, right? So let's not complain. Okay, I have some almonds that I'm going to sliver. You can do skinless, you can do with the skin on. And if you want to peel the skin off of the almond, you can basically just take them in a cup of water and nuke the water in the microwave for about 20 seconds. All the skins will peel off super easily. Okay, so this is done. I am going to strain my chai and drink it in a bit. Let me finish garnishing these almonds. Garnishing with these almonds. This is my knife. Now, I don't like to hold everything and go step by step. What I really like to do is I like to get all my almonds in one place. Oh, there's so many crumbs here. I like to get all my nuts in the middle, and then I use my knife as to pivot along, and I crush them down. Okay, so this is the action and this is the action. But keep one central point where you won't move it from. So basically you just go like this, and you'll see you'll get very fine slivers. They won't be as uniform as if it was made by the machine or whatever, but it's certainly faster. And listen, I'm all about the speed. Anybody got time? I want to enjoy my food, but not spend all day in the kitchen making it so that I'm so exhausted by the time I have to eat it that I'm not enjoying it, right? So I think that's the biggest curse for us Indian women, that we have so much guilt when we take shortcuts. Or listen, honey, we only live once, right? Nobody went to their grave, or like on nobody's memorial service, people said, oh, she should have spent more time in the kitchen. Nobody said that. I think even before we die, our family members, oh, can you make some tea for me? Can you make some rotis for me before you die? No, brother, I cannot make anything. I gotta go. God is calling me, okay? The gates of heaven are opening because I have served you for enough number of years. Let me go already. Get out of my face. And don't be born around me in the next, whatever, janam, next birth. I've served you enough. I'm funny, right? But you'll be surprised. I say that to my husband's face all the time. Don't be born around me next year. Next birth. I say next year. Next birth. No, man, we get tired. Like, yeah, we enjoy it, but we enjoy it when we have to do it. Not when someone's telling us, hey, can you make me this? Can you make me that? No, I cannot make you anything. I can make you an app that's called Uber Eats. You want to order something? Go get it. Dude, you have your own restaurant. Go eat in the restaurant. No, but he likes homemade food. All right. When he didn't have the restaurant, he used to love eating out. Now that he has the restaurant, he hates eating out. So basically, I'm stuck. You see, so this really does not involve too much skill, and it also a very safe way to cut your almonds without chopping off your fingers. You can use any kind of nuts you want. I personally feel like if I had pistachios, they would look really nice. You know, the little green of the pistachios against the yellow of the mango. And if it's fresh mango season, you can literally also top it with fresh mangoes before serving. Do not put any fruit on your hot custard, okay? You see, this is all. You see how it's all. Oh my God, I love my life. Look at this, baby. You see how it's already setting? Don't you love this? Yeah, I love my life too. I can't. Oh, okay. Tim says, sounds like my wife. I think it's everybody's. This is everybody's wife's patent dialogue that, you know what? No. I mean, I keep saying no, but I cook for him every night. I make food for him and go. And then when we come home from the restaurant at 11:30, I make fresh chapatis for him. I plate his food. I give him an appetizer. I give him his food. Then I give him dessert. Like, the brother is lucky, but he doesn't want to admit it, but the dude is really lucky. Okay, so we are going to go ahead and garnish it really nicely. Now, if you want to do an overkill with nuts, you can actually put nuts in between before you put the 2 layers of croissants as well, okay? So just make it your own. Like, do what makes you happy, honey. There is no dessert police coming to arrest you. If you're happy, your food is going to taste good. If you're happy making it, people who will eat your food will feel happy when they eat that food. Right? What do you think? No kidding. I'm serious right now. Okay, I still have some extra nuts over here. which I don't know what I'm gonna do. Salima, hello, hello. Anjali Moore is watching. I'm seeing some very new names. So, you know, if you are new to this page and this is your first time watching us live, definitely tell us in the comments, where are you from? Welcome to this crazy community of flavor lovers. We are the Queen's Curry Kitchen. And I live in Queens. Did you know that Queens actually just recently got nominated as the third country out of a list of 156 countries that must be seen before you die? Yes, so Queens is the borough for tourism. I'm going to put some cranberries only because I'm craving some color on this. I would have loved to put dried strawberries, but I don't have those. I might put rose petals, but I just feel like it's such a pain in the ass to eat those rose petals. And nobody, trust me, no matter what those influencers and food photographers are telling you, when you get a rose petal in your food and you have to bite on it, ugh. Like, dude, no. That is not a pretty thing. It just looks very nice in pictures, but it's not that pretty. Okay? Okay, yay. Abhishek Sharma, hello, hello. Sushma ji, good morning. Where have you been? So Sushma ji, you took the Thai food class, right, from me? I think that was last year. Can you tell everybody how was your experience? Because I'm teaching that class on Sunday again. So if anybody wants to learn an Indo-Thai class, vegetarian, please send me a message so I can sign you up for that class. Okay, so that's my dried cranberries, and I'm gonna go ahead and put some, look at this is crazy. These are some fennel seeds. It's called mukhwas. And if you're doing a pan flavored custard, oh my God, you should totally put these. I'm doing mango, but it's okay. I just didn't have the colored sprinkles, so I put this. Now, if you don't want any skin to form on this, you should put a piece of film and then stick it in. Before serving, you can top it with fresh mangoes. You can top it with fresh citrus fruit, whatever you have in your kitchen, you can do that. So this is our, my hand is getting hot because this is so hot to handle. It's so hot to handle, like a lot of Desi women's beauty, so hot to handle. And if you want to do that final hint of cardamom, there is no harm. You can absolutely go ahead and do that, okay? So there you go, a little more cardamom. And also when it sits in the fridge, a lot of flavors get absorbed, but they also get diluted. So if it tastes really strong before it goes in the fridge, it won't be that strong when it comes out. So just be mindful of that. Now is the time to strain the tea. So this was our bread pudding. I hope you're going to give this a try. It's super easy, trust me. All of the bread and croissants that sit in our house when we don't know. And also if you have like cinnamon raisin bread, or if you have cinnamon raisin bagels, honey, make this. If you're doing this with bagels, then make sure that the custard is not so thick, because bagels have a more dense texture. So they're going to need a lot more moisture, okay? Just make sure that your custard is a little bit thinner, and it doesn't matter if it doesn't coat the back of the spoon. Oh my God, this custard is so good. It reminds me of my mommy. I haven't seen my mom in 2.5 years. So this is what the chai looks like. I told you some of the basic differences in the chai. If you change the milk that you're using, if you change the... Heck, my dad used to say, even if you change the pot in which you're making your chai, even if the same person is making the chai, it's going to change. It's going to be a different tasting chai, which I totally agree. Like, different people have different skills with their chai. Now, as for sweeteners, you can use sugar, you can use stevia, you can use jaggery, you can use coconut sugar, monk fruit sugar. What other kind of sugars do we have? I sometimes like to put some, what do you call, maple syrup in my chai, and I absolutely love it. I have it from Canada. But yeah, this is what it looks like. To get the chai masala, head over to the website. There is a chai masala that is made for you, which has the right calibrations of cardamom, cinnamon, fennel, ginger powder, black pepper, everything. So it should all be in there. Yes, you could put honey. Just make sure you don't cook with honey. Just make sure that you're not cooking the honey. It should be added after you have strained the chai, okay? So I do have to run, but cheers to life. I hope. I'm not going to drink this. I have to put it in my altar and make an offering to God. And then I drink my chai. I don't take the first sip. But I hope you guys are going to give this custard pudding bread pudding a try. I will try to put better pictures of it so that you can see it. If you haven't signed up for the Thai food class, definitely think about it. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's on Zoom and it's very interactive, so you can literally do it hands-on and ask all the questions that you need to ask, and it's a very back and forth, and everybody learns from each other. Plus, you will get written recipes, you will get an ingredient list and a shopping list, and you will get written recipe cards so that you can look back on them whenever you want. If you want to see something else on the live, definitely drop it in the comments below. I am happy to make that for you. And if you found any value in this recipe, please, please, please share my page. Tell other people about this page so that this tribe of flavor lovers can grow. We're up to a 5,000 family already, and I look forward to including many more. There is a Facebook private group by the name of How to Cook Vegetarian, Vegan, Indian Food. And if you're a lover of Indian food, the class is at noon on Sunday, this coming Sunday. Yeah, noon Eastern Standard Time, New York time. So let me know if you want to do it, Janki. I can send you the registration information and you can sign up for the class so that then we can send you all the ingredients and whatnot, okay? So thank you everybody for joining me. I do have to go. I have appointments lined up, but love you all. Be blissful and flavorful. Thank you for joining me on this cold day. Well, it doesn't look like it's cold because it's very cozy in my apartment. But I'll see you soon tomorrow, which is in another video. Until then, be blissful and flavorful. Bye-bye.